Hello and welcome to the No Balls Podcast. I'm your host Patrick McDonald with me co-host Sheldon Kaufman. Today marks the first in-season NBA episode. I'm excited. These are supposed to be some of our fun episodes. For this first one though, we're gonna keep it simple. Early season takeaways, any predictions that we have, and we're also gonna have breakout and any award picks that we feel super inclined on. We're not gonna do every award, but yeah. First of all, season started. We're recording this on Saturday morning, the 26th. So a couple teams haven't played their second game yet, but most of the teams have played two games to this point in time. Um, I'll let you get the floor first. Are there any huge takeaways that you have from these first couple of games?
Yeah, I got really one big one, and it's Julius Randle's looking damn good right now. And he's been shooting the three ball really well, which I think is a shock to a lot of people. He went 1 for 3 in the first game, and then last game against the Kings that they played. I don't know if you watched that. Great game, 17 or 117, 150. It was like a 2 point game, but he went 5 for 6 from the 3 point line. Pat, yes, 2 days ago, 33 points, 5 rebounds. Julius Randle's looking really good for the Timberwolves right now. And they ran into a tough opponent the first game they played, the Lakers, which is another storyline I might want to talk about if you don't. Um, but Julius Randle is looking good, and the Timberwolves are looking like the trade isn't going to hurt their floor spacing as much if Randle can keep shooting like he has been. So I mean, that's kind of what I noticed. Is Randle's been looking really good to start off the season.
And if he can keep shooting the ball like that, it really opens up their offense, especially because last season they had that elite spacing with Cat. If they get that spacing from Randall, they now have his offensive rebounding ability. Um, I mean, that's about it on the offensive end. I think they're similar passers, but it is huge if you can get that out of Julius Randle. Um, my first takeaway, I think this, maybe because I was high on them in the in-season predictions, the Atlanta Hawks are off to a great start. And Trae Young is playing out of his mind right now. I believe he's combined for like 74 points in the first two games. Um, he's put up double doubles in both of the games, I believe, as well. And the Atlanta Hawks are off to a 2-0 start. I mean, they were against the Heat and the Nets, to be said, two teams that I'm not very high on. But if we think that the Hawks are going to play like this in the regular season, hey, they might make a 7 seed, right? If they're playing like this. Um, I think that's a big takeaway. That's something to continue to watch as we go forward into the season. Do you have any other big ones that you want to get off?
I mean, the Lakers are looking really good this year, Pat. I had them kind of far back, but I think the emergence of JJ Redick, it's been really fun to watch their offense. And AD has been incredible recently, and they've not been playing bad teams. The Suns and the who did they play game one?
Minnesota.
Timberwolves. Yeah, okay, yeah, they
Yeah.
played the Timberwolves. So he was going up against Rudy Gobert and Nurkic. I think he's averaging like 35 points a game right now. I mean, it's 2 games, but he's still doing really good. I mean, that whole Lakers team look. I mean, Austin Reeves is starting to connect from three, starting to put up numbers. Lakers might be a scary team to watch this year.
Yeah. JJ Redick immediately emerging as one of the, maybe not one of the better coaches, but he's emerging to be a lot better than Darvin Ham to start the season. Um, uh, other thing, I guess we'll go over like what out of the games that you at least paid a good bit of attention to, what has been the game of the week so far?
Great question.
I'll get
I'm
mine
gonna
off. I
go
think.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, mine was Suns Clippers. I feel like that was an amazing game. Katie hits the shot with about 13 seconds left to tie up the game. It goes into overtime. James Harden has a chance to tie it. Misses the second free throw. It was an amazing game. I think Suns Clippers. Great opening day. 10 o'clock game. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact thing. I mean, not only did the Clippers, I mean, also it was the first game in Intuit Dome, and we saw the wall implemented. KD missed two straight free throws. That was crazy. Um, Like, I don't know if you saw the wall. Did you see it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
yeah, it's fun.
Um, and
Ballmer,
then
Ballmer too. A lot of energy from Steve Ballmer.
yeah, it's crazy. But James Harden really took over that game with no Kawhi Leonard. I was shocked that the Clippers were even in that. But that Kevin Durant shot was literally insane. Like James Harden came to double team him and like was basically touched like barely missed the ball as KD shot it. It was insane. It was just a crazy shot, and he made it look so effortless. Game of the night, game of the week for sure.
Yeah, ridiculous shot from Kevin Durant. He still has that ability to make those type of shots. Um, I just had one other thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, it was not of to my amusement, but the first game of the season, Boston put on an absolute amazing performance, and then they didn't exactly carry it over to Washington, but they still pulled away with a pretty convincing win. Um, how do we feel about Boston's offense?
I mean, it's looking like my prediction for first in the East is looking really nice.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think I
they're live and die or not live and die by the three, but they do shoot a lot of threes, but they make them. Like they're not missing open shots. Their shooters don't miss. Like put it simply. And
yeah,
I think it's they're going to continue to keep this consistency. So, yeah, I'll say they're looking pretty good right now.
yeah. The thing with Boston is you really have to go into the game with such immense discipline and a very good game plan on how you're going to handle being five out the whole time. They're going to do a bunch of weird things with guard screening for guards and all that stuff. You have to have a really disciplined and advanced game plan, and I don't think every team's going to bring that night in and night out. I'm starting to regret maybe the hesitancy I had on them with Porzingis being out because it might not matter. And I think I saw the other day that last season they were like a point. They were basically just as good offensively with Porzingis off the floor. So, uh, yeah, I'm starting to maybe be a little hesitant and a little bit of our predictions too. Like, I don't think I would have picked the Knicks for a second. Post the cat trade. I think it makes them a little bit worse regular season team. Um, even though I think it does increase our ceiling a little bit. Um, any other key takeaways here? I can start with this though. Injuries. There've been a couple early injuries. DeJounte Murray fractured hand.
Yeah.
That'll be probably 6 to 8 weeks before he comes back. And then James Wiseman tore his Achilles, which really sucks for him because it was seeming like it was going to be one of the last chances he might get in the league. However, the Pacers haven't ruled him out yet, which is kind of strange. Um, yeah, I don't know what the process is to a non uh, surgical Achilles recovery, but that's what they're going for with James Wiseman as of right now. It seems. Um, were there any other key injuries that I missed?
Did
Um,
you say Dejounte
yeah, I said Deshaun.
Murray? Okay, then I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Not
think
anything
that
new.
just about covers it. Maybe for non-injuries, it's starting early where Joel Embiid is
Yeah.
already load managing.
Not only that, Pat. They're 0-2, and they have not looked good at all. Like they got killed by the Bucks, and then the Raptors beat them by 6. And this is a Raptors team that me and you both are not high on at all. So, and Maxi's been having. I mean, I know against the Bucks he had terrible shooting percentage. People were saying he was putting up tour dates. So I don't know. I'll put a red flag on Philly this year. Um, I'm kind of I'm worried that they'll get off to too slow of a start for Embiid to come back, and Embiid's not playing back to backs and all this stuff. There's just so much drama going on with the organization right now. I just can't really put some trust in it. And George is out for the next 2 weeks, so they're given a like really shitty hand to start, and it's looking that direction.
I'm interested in when Embiid is first going to play. Um, a lot of what's going on right now is why I had some hesitancy with Philly in our preseason predictions. ultimately, I think they're going to be fine when it comes to the postseason. It's just, I think they're going to set themselves up horribly when it comes to postseason time. Like, you can't go into every playoffs expecting to have a good playoff run if you're coming in as the 7-8 seed every day. It's
Yep.
going to struggle. So that's where my concerns are with Philly right now. Embiid's gameplay target is probably around 55 to 60, uh, is what I'm thinking. Uh, this is something that I thought about the other day, and maybe Philly's doing it. What do you think about instead of load managing with superstars, what if we just pushed back the season start for them?
I mean, I guess, but still, like, I don't like load management. I think it's bullshit. You should get out there and play.
I
Um,
don't either, and I think
like, I mean, if you want to go that way, I can, but like, you have an obligation to the fans. You know what I mean? I feel like you have some obligation to fans to go out there and play if you can. And Embiid does it all the time. I mean, it's just annoying. Like, and even as a basketball fan, I want to watch Embiid play. You had him ranked second best, but he's a top 3, top 4 player in this league, right? I want to see him out there playing back to backs. Like, you're a star player in the NBA and you can't play back to back.
yeah, I agree. And the big thing I have against load management is when it comes playoff time, suddenly you have to actually play at a high
Back,
frequency. Not back to back because you have a day off in between every game, but you have to play very frequently,
yeah,
which is why I think maybe we should push back the start of the season for some of these guys. Imagine if instead of him be having to play 80 games a season, he still has to play 60, but he's playing at the frequency that he would in the playoffs. I feel like that could maybe help him a little bit more than just sitting out every third game, right? Like I don't. There's probably a good reason why teams aren't doing this, but this is just my critical thinking, trying to step in to find a solution for some of this load management stuff because we see it
well,
year after year when
sorry, go ahead.
when it becomes playoff time, these guys suddenly have to play a lot more, and they're not ready to do that. It happens with Kawhi, it happens with Embiid. Embiid, it happens seasonally. Like he's always hurt going into the playoffs. What were you about to say before I finished up there?
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. Oh, the thing about it is, maybe like a thing that teams aren't thinking, kind of what we just talked about, is if you like that 20 game stretch, if you don't have your star player, is your team gonna do good in that stretch? Are they gonna go 10-10? Are they gonna go, uh, 15-5? Or you guys start off the season 5-15, 6-14? You know, that's just like I'm just saying that could be a reason why teams aren't maybe doing that much, but
This is true, yeah. But think about it this way. I think it's also very killing if you're going night to night and you just don't know what if the guy's going to even play. I think
yeah,
it would build some level of continuity to where you know for the last 60 games of the season, he's going to play all of them except the back to backs. You know that basically every day you're going to have Joel Embiid versus right now it's like he's he's questionable.
yeah.
So that, that's
No,
my
it's a great
takeaway.
point. Yeah, it's a great point. I like it. I feel like that's better than load management. If there was going to be something like that, I think that's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah, just delay the start of the season for Joel Embiid. So he starts in late December and then
the Joel
just
Embiid rule.
it would be good. Yeah, you just put him on the injured list. Um, any other big things? Oh, we saw the return of the Ball brothers. Um,
Yes.
LaMelo Ball is playing at a very high level. I'm liking what I see out of LaMelo Ball to start the season. Um, I was higher on the Hornets than you were, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe I had him as the 10 seed. You had him a little bit lower. We'll see. I think
Yeah.
I
I
kind of
think
like what I'm seeing, and I had Brandon Miller. So,
they could go either way. Yeah.
all right, one final little point before we get into breakout picks. The New Orleans Pelicans, they came into the season with this experiment that I don't think either of us really liked. The plan is Herb Jones plays center. I believe that's what they've been doing. Has he been starting there? Let me make
I'll
sure,
check for
Tice.
you real quick, Pat. I'm
Yeah,
checking real quick.
I'm pretty sure they've still been playing a large chunk of Tice minutes at center, but they've started 2-0. But the thing is now they're standing at 2-0 with DeJounte Murray out for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Trey Murphy's not going to be back perfectly on time. Zion is up there with Embiid, where he's daily questionable. They're really thin right now, I feel like, and even with it being Zion too, that's one of your bigger guys. Trey Murphy was one of your bigger guys. That's what you were going to need to really play up size wise. Um, they've started 2-0. It's been against Chicago and
Portland.
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 So yeah. um, did you get the Tice thing?
Yeah, Ty started both games at center. It says, but he only played 18 minutes. So
So it's
they
been
but then Misi played 22. So I think they're running Tyson Misi, or they are running Tyson Misi back to back. Pretty much
okay. So
at
they
that center position.
yeah, because they can't really run Herb at center if they don't have other size on the floor uh,
Yeah.
to make up for it. So as of right now, they're running a true center, and hey, so far it's worked. We'll see how it goes further in the season. Uh, Warriors start 2-0. I think we'll get into that with breakout picks. So, yeah, we'll get there then, and then my Nuggets thing will also be in breakout picks as well. So, quickly before we do that, go over a little bit of contract stuff because a lot of contracts were signed on the last day of the offseason. Aaron Gordon signs a huge extension. It was about 34 a season. The Rockets signed Sengun and Jalen Green. The Pelicans signed Trey Murphy. I'm missing at least one more. Moses Moody signed on a pretty good value contract with the Warriors too. And there's probably another deal that I'm missing there, but we'll quickly go into breakout picks. Crisp transition. Um, we'll start. What's your first breakout pick?
All right. I'll start off a little hot right here. Hold on, I'm trying to pull my guy up. He disappeared on me. My notes. All right. We actually just talked about this team, Pat, and it is a player for the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm going Jordan Hawkins to break out this year. I really like what I've seen in the past couple games this season. Like you said, they're a super thin team right now. Then this kid can shoot the ball. Last year he shot 36%. I think that's just going to increase with minutes. He did not get many minutes last year, and when he did, he was producing. He had a great game last night, and if he gets his efficiency numbers up, he will be averaging at least 15 to 16 a game. I think. Um, this is a guy that can really shoot the ball, and literally last game they went to Jordan Hawkins and Brandon Ingram. Like those were the two main guys. Uh, with the weaknesses, the defense is a little shaky for me, but I'm thinking about I like a big offensive breakout here for Jordan Hawkins this year.
Yeah, I like it for sure. That he's a great shooter. That was his thing coming out of the draft, and I think that's a skill that already is translatable to the NBA. And with Trey Murphy being out, who's probably their best shooter, DeJounte Murray's going to be out. Maybe he'll get a lot more playmaking reps. Off the top of my head, their backup point guard, I guess, is CJ McCollum.
Jose Alvarado.
And then, yeah, Alvarado, who, like, I guess he's your point guard.
Yeah.
He's your nomin point guard, even though Zion and Ingram will take a lot of those playmaking reps. Yeah, I like the Hawkins pick for sure. He's going to get a lot of early opportunity. Um, my number one guy, and I think this is a guy who I've been continually pretty vocal about. I think I regretted leaving him off of my East point guard rankings basically immediately. My guy's Kate Cunningham. I'm gonna read you off a name of six guys: Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, LaMelo Ball, Luca, Shea, and Zion. These were the only guys last season to average 17 or more drives a game last season. Of all of these guys, Cade Cunningham had the lowest assist rate on his drives, or one of the lower assist rates on his drives. And he passed out of those drives a good amount of time. The Pistons had basically the worst spacing in the league last season. This is a guy who his primary skills I don't think are going to pop up in this Cam Thomas tank leader role where you can't just put the ball in his hands more and expect him to give more, even though he did really well last season in putting up counting numbers. Adding Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, I think will do so much for Cade Cunningham as a facilitator. I believe he led the league last season and shot blocked at the rim.
Hmm. Yeah, well, he's like 6'8", right?
And he's like 6'7", 6'8" point guard. He, a lot of that is like he literally has no better option. It's these tough in between shots where he's just kind of having to contort in weird ways, and it gets sent. And he got blocked at an abnormally large rate.
Oh, he got blocked. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
I thought he was blocking. That's why I said that. My bad. My
yeah.
bad. Yeah, yeah.
That's why his efficiency kind of got cooked, and then
Okay,
he had
okay.
to take a ton of mid-range shots. He was sneakily like one of the better efficiency mid-range shooters last season. Um, and I hope that can translate to more three-point attempts this season because his three-point attempts in college, he looked like a really good, like an elite three-point shooter. He hasn't gotten enough attempts in the NBA, and 40% of his attempts are like tough off the dribble shots. I hope that they can get better offensive teammates around him. Cade Cunningham's my pick. A sneaky comparison I have with him is his offensive profile last year was like kind of the same as Paolo. And I see Paolo getting pushed up so many rankings. And I don't think Cade Cunningham gets enough credit for doing basically the same thing as Paolo. So that's my Cade case as a breakout candidate.
Yeah, Cade looked
Yeah,
really. Sorry, Cade looked really nice in that Pacers game, and the whole Pistons team looked nice, and then the Pistons team looked nice against the Cavs. I think what we're going to see is a Pistons team that is going to lose a lot of games, but they're going to play a lot of teams competitively, and they're going to. I'm going to think they're going to be one of the more they're going to play in a lot of clutch games this year, because like you said, Cade Cunningham is gross. I saw him work in the mid range. He's just disgusting, and I saw him hit step back threes. He can literally do everything. That's a great pick, Pat.
yeah. His ability to manipulate screen actions, his passing ability, it shows up on film. It doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. Um, and I think this season, with better offensive talent, it will a lot more often. Um, go ahead. What's your second pick?
Let's take us to Dallas, Pat. I'm going with Jaden Hardy. A lot of people have been saying Quentin Grimes, but I like Jaden Hardy a little bit more, especially that now that Tim Hardaway Jr. is gone. I also think that he can ball handle and facilitate a little bit better. Quentin Grimes is more of a, he gets shots off of other guys. So I like Jaden Hardy. I think he's gonna do really well, and he's able to take the pressure off Luca and Kyrie ball handling when one of them are in or out. And I think that he can also shoot the three pretty well. He shot 36% last year. In his first season with Dallas, he shot 40. He only got 13 minutes a game last year. That's got to go up now, especially with Tim Hardaway not there anymore. So yeah, and Jaden Hardy showed some promise in the playoffs as well. Really good shooter. So yeah, I like Jaden Hardy. I think he can be sneakily really good this year.
And I feel like this is also a little bit of sliding of Spencer Dinwiddie. Um, um, as a Wizards fan, I know you don't like Dinwiddie, but yeah, I do like the Hardy pick. I think it's been a long time coming for Jaden Hardy. I think a lot of people have been expecting big things out of him. Um, yeah, I like that pick. I'll go forward into my next one. Maybe as a second year player, I shouldn't be picking him as a breakout pick, but I really like Brandon Pajemski. Um, I feel like he hasn't started yet this season. I was expecting him to be starting in over Buddy Hield. But the Warriors have looked really good to start the year, and Pajemski hasn't really gotten going yet. Realistically, this is their backup point guard. Um, I think he's going to bring a lot more in the creation aspect this season. I think he last season he looked like a pretty solid passer as a rookie, and he can play defense, he can rebound, and I think his shot could legitimately be as good as the 8 3-point attempts a game the Warriors want him to be taking. So that's my Pajemski take. Um, yeah, drafted him in fantasy for that very reason.
Yeah, I know he's like you said, rough couples. He'll be able to turn it around, and if like you said, he has all the talents to do what they want him to do there and have a great year.
Yeah, I like Pajemski. Um, next pick for you.
I'm going Bilal Koulibaly, the hometown hero. Uh, I just think that with the Wizards this year, he's going to get a lot of opportunities, and he's going to get a lot more minutes. Oh, sorry, let me pull it up. Um, yeah, he had 8 points last game, but the main reason I really wanted to pick it is because he's just going to be so good on defense this year. He already was averaging like a steal a game last year. I think that's going to go up. He's so versatile defensively, and he has such good length. And I think that he's going to get more opportunities uh, to get scoring chances, like running to the rim because he's so good at finishing around the rim. And near the end of the year, his 3 point did kind of like was starting to look better. He ended up 34%, which is a little under what you want it to be. If he can just get that up just a tiny bit, his scoring numbers will go up. But the big thing on this list compared to everyone else is that I just like his defense a lot. Like I think a defense is a huge plus for him.
Yeah, I think he is going to be a great defensive player. Yeah, I like the Bilal pick. Um, hopefully he gets more opportunity this season because he got, I wouldn't say slighted last season, but it took him a little bit to really get some reps because of all the wing players that they had last season. Um, yeah, I like Bilal. Um, my next pick, maybe this is jumping off of a 2 game start, but I really like Santi Aldama. Uh,
Ooh, I like
shot
that.
make shot makings look kind of great for him. Um, previously, I believe in his uh, first 2 seasons, he didn't shoot the three very much. Uh, last season, his 3-point attempts got up to about 5 a game. This season, I believe they're at about 5 a game, 2 games in. But his percentages kind of dipped off last season as he shot more. I believe this season, with John Morant being there, Desmond Bain being there full time, Marcus Smart is there now too, and now they'll have Scottie Pippen Jr. playing also off the bench, who I think is a very solid playmaker. Um, I feel like there's just gonna be so much more easy shots for Santi Aldama, and I feel like he's gonna play a big part in their front court this season because I mean, he's going to bring some lineups that have him and Jaren Jackson Jr. on at the same time. And that's really big, and it's going to give you a lot of rim protection, but both of those guys look like they can really shoot the basketball. Um, so I think those could be some really big lineups. And hey, Zach Edey started really strong. You and I both thought that, hey, this is probably a 24-minute game guy. I think there's going to be a lot of front court minutes available. Uh,
Yeah, if he can stay on the court for more than 15 minutes without fouling out, that would be nice too for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, rough first game. He did have like 8 points
No,
though in that game.
yeah, he did good.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
was
I
pretty good.
love that Santi pick. I in that first game, I know he went crazy. He dropped like 22, I think, and
Mm.
a majority of it was from threes. Just a crazy shooter. And yeah, with all the attention that John Moran and Desmond Bain, Santi's going to be probably their. I don't know.
He's
Yeah,
going to be
Santi's going to
there.
be a. No, yeah, he's going to be a big part for them. I think if they're going to do anything, Santi's going to have a huge year. And I don't think that's crazy to say.
Okay. Who we got next?
All right, this one might. I don't even know if this is a breakout pick, but I feel like it's going to be just because he never really had. He had a disappointing season last year. A lot of people thought last year was going to be a huge year for him. He didn't do like crazy. He put up a good year. I'm going with my
Is
man
it Jordan Poole?
AR-15. Nah,
Oh.
it's Austin Reeves. I was thinking Jordan Poole. I didn't want to double up on. I didn't want to double up on two teams. I was between Poole and Bali, but I ended up going with Bali. But I'm going with AR-15 actually. Um,
Okay. I thought
I don't
about him
know if
actually.
okay, yeah. So last year, people were expecting huge things from him after that Western Conference Finals run. Um, and he just had a not a just not the 3 point shooting year you expect from Austin Reeves, 36%. He still put up 16 points per game. But I think now with the way that AD and LeBron are playing, Austin Reeves is going to step into the bona fide three spot. He's going to be their third scorer, and I don't see how he doesn't score 22 points per game or more. I really don't. If he can shoot like we know he can, he's already shown it. I don't know if you saw the Suns game last night. He dropped 26, stroking it. Pause. He was stroking it from three like it was nothing. Um, the Lakers' big three is looking gross. I think that instead of D'Lo now, AR is kind of stepping into this role, and I think he's gonna have a huge year, Pat. And also his assist number and rebound numbers are really good. Like he's averaging he averaged 5 assists last year, 3 the year before. I mean, that's just going to keep going up with AD and LeBron. And his rebounding numbers aren't that bad. He had 4 last year. He's a pretty all around player. I like AR-15 to have a huge year next year or this year. Sorry.
Yeah. A big reason I like Reeves, you'd mentioned it last season, coming off of his 23 season, where he was a much higher volume scorer, he just got a lot less free throw calls last season. And that was something that he kind of seemed to be a maestro of. Austin Reeves sneakily was a candidate for a top 50 spot for me. Um,
Hmm.
he's a really interesting offensive player, really efficient scorer and passer. I hope that more than Darvin Ham, JJ Redick knows how to unlock this guy because it's Darvin Ham basically victimized every player except Torian Prince on the Lakers last season. Um, so yeah, and maybe Cam Reddish too. Um, either way, I like the Austin Reeves pick.
Who do you got, Pat? Or yeah, who do you got?
This next one, I didn't know. I felt like there was a team that I could have picked so many guys for. I ultimately went with Jabari Smith Jr. from the Rockets.
Love that. Tell me why, Pat.
I feel like, okay, early on to start the season, Jabari's shot the ball slowly, but when he's on the court, I believe the Rockets have been like plus like 27. Um, which it sounds crazy, but they have been very good. The big thing with Jabari is I feel like as this Rockets team gets better, his shooting efficiency is only going to get better, and I don't think his attempts are going to go down. Um, in his rookie season, he was doing the same thing he did last season. It's just instead of in his rookie year it being KPJ and Jalen Green being the main facilitators, he had Fred VanVleet as well. I feel like as the playmaking talent around him gets better, Jabari Smith Jr. will only get better. I also wanted because I just Amen Thompson is awesome. I like Amen Thompson, and then Tari Eason for me as well. I may have mentioned it in the Western Conference predictions, but I really like the idea of them playing Jabari, Sengun, and Tari Eason, um, because that really did help them a lot last season when he played last year. And yeah, I think uh, yeah, Jabari had a plus 24 on off the first two seasons or the first two games. Um, so it's my Jabari take. I believe we have one more each.
Yep.
All right, who do you have?
All right. This is gonna sound weird, but this is a pick. I'm thinking he's going from star to superstar this year, and that's Paulo Banchero. I got Paulo
Okay.
Banchero going from star to superstar. Last year we saw him put up great numbers: 22 points per game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and and he's just so like he's just not getting the attention he deserves. But I mean, I think the Magic are looking really good, and Paolo's just gonna. I think Paolo can get MVP votes this year if he can just do what he does. Against Miami, he had 33 points. Against Brooklyn, not that great, 15, but still. I mean, he just has all the tools. He can finish in the paint. He can score from the mid range. He can shoot the three. He's good on defense. Yeah, I think he's just gonna take a huge step this year, Pat, to superstar status.
Making my top 50 list, Paolo was really tough to rank because based on what he did last season, he was a fringe top 50 guy. And I didn't want to project in my rankings, but his preseason was really hard to ignore. Like he had a really fantastic preseason. His efficiency was like kind of through the roof when that was the weakness of his game last season. Um, I really like the Palo pick because the tools are there. He's a 6'10" forward with great ball skills. Like he's really good. Um, I guess this just leaves my final pick. I mean, it's maybe not the sexiest pick ever, but his team is 0-1 to start the season. They are really struggling to shoot the basketball, and I feel like Julian Strawther could kind of be the fix for Denver. Um, he's a shooter, and I feel like it could early on like play him into a starting role over Christian Braun. I think Jokic mentioned it, um, basically saying, "Hey, like we can't shoot the ball."
Yeah,
Um, I think they're gonna respond very early to those comments by their guy. I saw a meme that said the Nuggets basically should just play three out at all times because at all times they're gonna have two of uh, Gordon, Westbrook, Braun, or some Peyton Watson. So I feel like Strawther could be a key piece for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up starting in the coming seasons or in the coming uh, weeks or so.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, great pick.
and I believe he had a good regular season, even though he hasn't started the season. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been tossing up the idea of Braun or Strawther since the beginning of the season as well, and Braun has not been getting it done, like you said. So if he does step in that role, then yes, I love the breakout pick, and I think he will. So
Yeah. Um, I always say Braun because Ryan Braun. I'm pretty sure it's Christian Brown. I just
no,
it's
it's
so
Braun.
goofy. No, it's weirdly brown. Like
Oh,
weirdest
so
thing
it's
ever.
like pronounced Brown, but like
Yeah,
spelled Braun. Okay,
yeah.
that's
I feel
annoying.
like they didn't know what their name was somewhere down the line.
All
Um,
right, bro. You
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
Christian
Maybe
Braun? You
that's a
gonna get
little
the Braun family,
insensitive to
the
say.
Brown family out? Yeah, you can get the Brown family after us. Bro. Chill out. They
All
don't
right.
play.
Do we have quickly here now any award predictions that we feel very inclined on because we're not going to go through every award. if you're picking the MVP, how do we feel about weighting team success in there? Because I feel like this is a very important thing to get out the way first.
Not, I don't really. I think it should just be the most valuable player.
Okay.
Like, because look, if you're doing things, if your team's ass, but you're like the only reason they're like somewhat good, then you're the most valuable player on that team. No, so you should be the most. Man, I don't know. I don't think it should. I don't think it should. I mean, let's be real. If you're the MVP, your team's not that usually that shitty,
Yeah, I agree.
unless you got.
Uh,
If you can think of some instances where someone got like robbed because of it, because their team sucked.
I feel like those. I was gonna go the other way. I thought the 17 Westbrook teams were actually kind of bad. Um,
Who who's on those the with George and Mello?
no, the year before where it was like Oladipo, Ricky
Andre Robinson.
Sabonis, Andre Roberson, Steven
When what
Adams,
they had to make a
young
play.
Jeremy
They had
Grant.
to make a playoff, bro. They had to make a playoff
They were like a
game.
6 seed, but they were like
That's MVP. If you're in the if you that's MVP. Yeah.
I thought the 21 Jokic seasons were a little bit more deserving as a lower seed, but like the those Thunder teams, like it kind of was obvious that they were going to lose in the first round. Um, and I feel like teams like that
Why were they a six seed though?
because of
Because of
Bernie.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe I do care a
It
little bit more.
it's tough.
I
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the time we talk about players' numbers and like, hey, because last season Luka Doncic had the best stats, like counting stats in the league, and then people will also use his teammates being worse as an argument. I don't think you can do that, right? I think you have to make one argument or the other because his teammates are a lot worse, his stats are going to be a lot higher.
So wait. So you saying that people shouldn't get credit even if their team is like if their team around them is bad and they shouldn't that shouldn't be a crutch for them to fall on? Is that what you're trying to say?
Um,
Like if the
it
teammates
shouldn't
around them
be
are bad, it shouldn't be like, oh, they should be more deserving because the teammates around them suck.
Yeah, because I think the stats are then a byproduct of the roster construction.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
like
that's a
realist
valid point.
because I mean, even if the roster construction is a little bit better, Luka was still going to average 28 points plus, right? It's just the fact that he averaged 34 was like, hey, who else is going to really score the ball here besides him and Kyrie? And we
Yep.
talked about that a lot. That being said, I don't really have MVP pick.
I
If
got a hot take one. I'll throw a hot take out there. I could see
okay,
AD winning MVP. I could see AD winning MVP. Um.
okay, here's my
Yeah.
AD take. I think
Okay.
this is the year he wins the DPOI.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this
I got
season,
no
I
pushback, Pat.
did
I got
you
no
see
pushback.
did you see the zone they threw out there with 80 at the top of the zone? I
Oh my
just
god. Yeah, that was nice. Or he was. Yeah, that little like free. Yeah. 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 I
it
like that.
just for me it feels like JJ Redick is going to unlock just new things about Anthony Davis, and I feel like people are really going to appreciate even more this season how good AD is.
That's
Um,
why I'm taking him for MVP, Pat, because of the defensive stuff. And he's averaging 30. Okay, he's gonna. I think his offensive game, he's unstoppable right now. Right now, he is. And if people want to disagree, they can. But like, prove it. Show me where he's not. He's putting up crazy numbers right now. 2 games. Yes, I know. The smallest sample size ever, and that it's kind of crazy that we're kind of. But I don't care. We saw it last year. If AD's healthy, MVP isn't crazy. Depoy is very possible. Like I would, you know, I could. I don't want to say it's a lock, because you never want to say that, but it's a very good possibility. Yeah.
I think I had said in uh, the Lakers video that I said Anthony Davis is top two defensively. I don't know. He might just be one. Like he's that awesome. Um, I I I hope that his scoring game will get there, and I think JJ realizes, hey, we can't ask LeBron to do everything night in and night out. Like we're gonna have to get something out of AD. We're gonna have to get stuff out of D'Lo and Reeves. I hope that this leads to the best MVP finish of AD, even though that sneakily might have to be first. I feel like he probably has a second or third place finish in his career.
Oh, when he was
So
on the Pelicans.
I believe, yeah, I think the 2018 race was like James Harden, LeBron, Anthony Davis. I think
Oh,
AD was
that's fucked.
third.
That's so messed up.
Yeah. Um.
I'm gonna
I
peep it.
wait. Yeah. AD Depoy was like my one pick that I was really liking. Um, early off, this can include a little bit of preseason too. How do we feel about the rookies?
I love Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard.
Mm,
I like Dalton Connect a
it's
lot.
awesome.
Dalton Connect is looking good with JJ. Or yeah, I like JJ. Yeah. Alex Sarr. Yeah. Not looking good. Zach Edey's looking good. Edey's looking very good. I think Ricochet is showing some promise as well. What do you think, Pat? Is there anyone that's saying? I mean, McCain a little bit, maybe.
I feel like the McCain. I don't think has played regular season yet, but like he looked decent in preseason. I feel like the guys that we were high on, at least right now, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah,
We, I think we got the benefit of watching Summer League Reed first, but like I feel like we were still really high on Reed. And then Ricochet, I felt like I've never seen a more hated first overall pick. And
yeah,
I felt like we were very against consensus against him because we saw a lot of those like feel for the game stuff with him that I just don't think the normal fan really cares about. Like, I think he's gonna be a great NBA player. I said 6'8" Klay Thompson, and I kind of feel very similarly. I think he looks awesome. Uh,
yeah. I mean,
Other guys, those are
Alex
the two
Sarr is
big guys for
pissing
me.
me
Reed and
fuck off.
Ricochet have
Actually,
been the best.
my bad for my language, but I mean, goddamn. Second overall pick, and he had 2 points off 1 for 7 shooting. Oh my god, bro. I got. There
It's
needs
a
to be
rough
more
one.
Alex Sarr hate out there. Honestly, I'll just say that real quick. Also, Bub Carrington, and I think the Wizards rookies, Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George have a much better future than Alex Sarr. Because I mean, this man just cannot shoot the ball at all. It sucks. It's terrible. His defense has been good though, but like,
Yeah,
it's such a liability, bro. But yeah, sorry, I
he
had to get that
just
off
he
my chest
doesn't
real
he
quick.
doesn't seem NBA ready.
No,
Yeah,
and he
he
was the
doesn't seem NBA
second
ready. It's
overall
tough.
pick. The Hawks may have made this deal with the draft, not picking him one. Honestly, and
I
I'm a
agree.
Wizards fan.
All right, going forward, we talked about some of the rookies. We'll definitely talk about rookies more. It's just a lot of them aren't playing much right now. Um, what next season's rookies? That's what I'm trying to get at. Because I think this is going to be a big storyline throughout the season. The not just Cooper Flag sweepstakes, because a lot of the rest of the class is pretty solid too. For the 25 draft, who do we see already kind of saying, "Hey, we're looking forward to next season"?
Oh, the Nets.
I think the Nets have already started. I think Utah probably is already looking at it. Portland, hey,
Maybe Portland. Yeah, but Portland's like I don't know. They're yeah. I would say the Nets, Trailblazers, probably Wizards. Sadly, um, yeah, yeah. Trailblazers. Yeah, all the teams that we kind of said, I would say that are all still gunning for that spot right now.
how do we feel about the 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 crazy luck of the OKC Thunder with the Clippers suddenly
Oh,
not
is that's non protected as well, right?
it completely like there's a weird situation where they get it if they're like a good team and they're worse than the Rockets or they're better
What?
than the Rockets. Um,
Okay.
it's a really but if it's a top if it's a lottery pick, the Thunder get it.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, that's crazy. Um, I still need to, you know, start doing my stuff for for the college basketball season. So I'm not as tuned in right now, but I know it is a loaded class, and that this is the class that you want to have the early picks. And if Kawhi's out for very long, like how can Harden really carry this team to above what's the lottery, top 12, top 10
14
teams, 14? Yeah, I could see. Yeah, that's crazy. They might have. I mean, the GM is a genius, just straight up.
Sam Presti, baby.
Bressy ball.
Yeah, Presti balls. Hey, he's kept it going in OKC. Um, do you have any other big things you want to talk about before we wrap up this first week?
Um, I think we kind of missed two storylines. I guess
Okay.
the one was just Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler game.
Yep.
This was a guy that you were kind of down on.
Hesitant
I
on.
think
Yeah.
I wasn't. Ah, man, I might have to be. It was one game though, but like I don't know, it was crazy.
Hmm.
And then the other thing, I have to say it, but LeBron James Jr. or Bronny James did take the court with LeBron
Oh, yeah.
in the game, so and
He
he
has.
didn't score, and I was happy. But it was a cool moment. It was a cool moment, I guess. But yeah,
I used it on the
that's
thumbnail for the top 50.
I just wanted
Um,
to make sure we got that
yeah.
out the way.
Bronny gonna be a G leaguer early on.
No, he
That's how
did.
I feel
He
about
no
that.
he nah. He's going down after 5 games. I think I saw somewhere he's going to
Okay.
the G
Yeah.
League. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been I mean, Patrick, I will tell you, like through the first week, this is going to be an insane season. I'm super excited for it.
So many good teams too. A team
That's what I'm
leaves.
saying. That's why when you were like, who's like all out on Cooper, I'm like, damn, I don't even know. Like, I gotta
Yeah.
think because I can't even say the Pistons because I low-key think the Pistons are kind of nice. Like,
Cooper would be awesome there though. I feel like, but that's another topic for
that'd be a
another
lot
day.
better than Jalen Durant.
Yeah. Um, going forward, I don't know. We'll probably not recap every weekend. I think we'll do every other weekend for like a full season recap, and then we'll have like another episode within uh the other week. So that's something to look forward. Next, it should be going out Thursday. Should be just a recap of the top 50 list that I just put out. It'll have any questions that are out there. It'll be gone over. The criterias for the tierings will be explained in depth there. Um, that should be a pretty interesting episode. And then there's a World Series episode that went up right when the World Series came up last night because our recording software.
Don't get me started on my Boone rant, please. Don't get me started on my Aaron Boone rant, Patrick. Like,
Uh,
this will be a very long podcast episode if I do.
Yeah, so that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you next episode and the top 50 recap. Uh, Signing off.